So yes, we talked last time, and it was so awesome. And I also have had some other experiences, obviously, since the last time we spoke,
Yeah.
and gone through. I'm just like getting the dog hair off my computer.
Well, I mean, the big thing that I took away from that conversation was you saying you're being naive if you think that all of your friends think the same way that you do on social.
Right.
And I've spent a lot of time thinking about that, like obsessively since Thursday. And I agree with you. And I started posting about it because
I noticed that. Yeah.
because I hadn't said anything or posted anything, and I was just really thinking like, what the fuck to do? And it's probably not going to be the thing that solves the problem, but it's working towards solving the problem at least. Do you know what I mean? And so
Yeah, and
I felt like I wanted to have something more meaningful than a Facebook post to do or say, like a way to activate now.
I wrote very thorough things on Facebook about my thoughts
I read
about
them.
Black Lives Matter and about like these important issues, and I was very clear about what I was saying and very honest. I've had really amazing dialogue because of that, like we had as well, and we are having right now. And on the other side of it, you know, I promised myself I wouldn't respond to other people's things. I was just going to write my own thing. And then there was something so absurd that I had to comment on this other person's thing. I'm telling you, the moment was like, don't do it. You know what you're doing, right? And I was like, fuck it. And I just went, and it was really hard but I was really still the same clear thing. I wasn't calling names. I wasn't, you know, but I was very clear about what I was saying and how this person was completely off base. And in any case, blah, blah, blah. And at first when I posted all this stuff, because it was all white people, it was like a white friend of mine and all her white friends. And they were, having, and what the friend I have posted was amazing. And then her white friends, so interesting, like what you're saying, it's her friends that then responded. And she was like, oh, really? And she blocked them quick, fast. You know what I mean? Like she told me that. We messaged about it afterwards. And she keeps posting. She's like, oh, more people have unfollowed me and I've cut off more. Like it's happening, because as white people, like you were saying, you don't actually know what each other thinks about this particular issue because you never have to talk about it.
No, and if ever I am talking about it with someone, typically it's people who agree with me discussing how much we dislike the issue.
Right.
It's not usually me having a conversation with other white people where like they think really differently than me and I'm having to try and convince them. So I don't hear people say racist things very often.
There's many levels of how it comes out. This conversation that was happening, basically people being like, I mean, I get they're angry, but why are they like burning things? You don't think you're being racist right now. Like you don't, but you are, because you actually don't even understand how they could be that angry, because you have no idea what oppression is like.
That's the thing.
So when you call someone out that says something like that, they don't understand what you're saying. So they're like, yeah, but I'm just saying we shouldn't be burning buildings down. But you saying that means you don't understand that level of abuse and anger and oppression, like, because that is what would happen if you were being oppressed this way. You would be that angry.
People are upset that they burned down a police station. But if you globalize this issue, if America had an issue with another country, like in the Middle East somewhere, they killed some Americans, and they would be like, hey, we're gonna like send troops into this area and cause a problem as a retaliation to even the playing field. So how is this not the same thing? Something happened to a community of people and their response was, we're gonna burn down that building because that's equal. The loss of someone's life is more important than the loss of that building. I think now that community can say, that building is now a representation of something terrible and we're removing it because
it literally is.
Yes.
The cop shop is literally the representation of the oppressor. Like that is exactly what it is. You know what I mean? It is a system of oppression that they are burning down. And when people don't really understand the nuance and subtlety of those things, I'm like, you're really not looking deep enough. You need to peel back that superficial layer you want to sit your ass on because it's safe and it makes you feel comfortable and it makes you feel right. You need to fucking peel that shit back because it is so much deeper than that. There's so many layers to this thing. It's like ridiculous. And on the same note that you were saying, like how Americans go to other countries, I was thinking about it. I'm like, America has funded government overthrows and coups in other countries when they have disagreed with the whatever, like they've backed the rebels in other places to overthrow the governments in those countries. Yeah. So really what's happening right now is like the rebels that are trying to like really overthrow this system, if they were being funded by Russia, or they were if someone, some other company was like, country was like, yeah, we're gonna help you guys because we don't like that Trump guy either. So let's get rid of him together. And they fucking give you the guns and they fund you and you overthrow the government. That shit happens. That has happened throughout history. So I'm like, it's the same. The only difference is that there's no funding for the Black people and the people of color and the allies. There's no funding for the people. But if someone turned around tomorrow, some country turned around tomorrow, it's the same fucking thing.
And the funny thing is, no one's asking to overthrow the government. It's literally the goal right now, which is so sad, is treat me with respect.
Yes.
Like, and you're equating treat me with respect to other countries throwing over their government. So I'm like, that's a massive.
Well, because to me, when I look at it, right, and I look at the system they are trying to change, that shit is not going to fucking change, Robert.
No, that's my point. I'm like, it's sad though, because all that's necessary is to respect each other.
I know.
It doesn't have to be a global takedown, but it is going to have to be, because white people do not want to let go of the power.
This is what hubris does. The burning and looting and rioting is revolution. Revolutions are not pretty. Revolutions are never like, what is a revolution? It is fire and brimstone.